to my beautiful friends. I wanted to make a happy video for this week, something warm and comforting. To be honest, I've known about the Animal Crossing film for a while now, but I've never sat down to watch it myself. After watching it, I have to say it is one of the most faithful game movies that I've ever seen. I was only a few minutes into the film and already knew I had to talk about it with you guys. It manages to be both an entertaining story, as well as a gently delivered bundle of life lessons and happiness. So grab some popcorn and some cherry pie, and let's learn about it together. Our story opens up with Ai, our main character, riding to her new home in the back of a cabin taxi. The name Ai sounds a lot like the word I wonder why. Once she arrives in the animal village, she goes straight into the post office to meet Pelly and Tortimer. Tortimer just happens to be obsessed with the upcoming town election, and he is the only candidate. We get to see him talk to Ai, and he uses the actual emotions from the Animal Crossing games. I thought that was a really cute touch. Ai gets sent over to Nook's Cranny to find her new house and ends up being pushed to run deliveries for him. And just like the games, it's an excuse for us to see everyone in the village. We have Rosie, Alfonso, Whitney, Hopper, and the Able sisters. And also there's a character named Margie who is too pure for this world. We get to meet Yu, a troublesome boy who likes hunting bugs, and he terrifies Ai on her walk home with a cockroach. The name Yu sounds a lot like the word you. The next day, Ai continues her delivery work, but has an awful accident. Yu bumps into her and makes her fall on Apollo's flower beds, destroying his blue roses, which really sucks because those are so hard to grow in the games. We then get to meet Rossetti, everyone's favorite character, who scolds Ai for the incident, but decides since she didn't do it on purpose, it's okay, I guess. He tells her that if she wants to find Apollo to apologize, he tends to hang out at the Roost Cafe. Ai tries to find Apollo by heading to the museum where the Roost Cafe is. She wanders inside, becomes traumatized by all the fossils in the dark, and thankfully Blathers and Celeste come to her rescue. Blathers tells her about the massive bone collection around her and the one fossil that's missing, the Seismosaurus. And then he starts going off about dinosaur facts, and it's her time to escape. And she goes to the Roost where she meets Caesar and Serrano. They tell her about how weird and scary Apollo is. So naturally, Apollo comes in during the conversation, venting about his poor, murdered flowers. She's already been meaning to apologize, so Ai takes this time to confess. And without a word, Apollo leaves, and she is left feeling awful. Ai tries to finish her work as best she can and ends up getting a little help from Margie. The two girls talk and bond over her dream of being a fashion designer. She says that a person's passion or desire is their cherry pie. Cherries and cherry blossoms are very important in Japanese culture. They signify life and how it should be lived to the fullest while we still have it. The cherry pie is how you choose to develop that life for yourself. They then share a cherry under the tree. Later that night, as she's roaming across the beach in thought, she finds a note in a bottle telling her a miraculous thing will happen if she plants cedar trees before the winter festival. Soon after, the girls are walking around town, and they happen upon Yu and Alfonso digging for fossils. Rosie exclaims that she knows where a bunch of other fossils are, so they set off on a little adventure. They take a boat deep into a cave, narrowly escaping death, and find the mother lode. Ai notices a very hard-to-miss giant Seismosaurus skeleton nearby, and everyone gets really excited. It's the last fossil the museum needs, and it's literally right in front of them. Yu tries to climb it for reasons and triggers a rock fall, and everyone once again narrowly escapes getting super hurt. This movie is a lot more violent than the games. And then, in true anime style, it's time for a summer festival. Everyone looks super adorable in their kimonos, there's a ton of delicious food, KK Slider's there to perform, and they can totally not get scammed by Red, who's selling things there. This festival has everything. At the concert, Margie requests KK play the song KK Bassa, whose lyrics are about finding something on the seashore that opens a door. Is this a coincidence? Fun fact, KK Bassa is canonically Margie's favorite song in the games. Nice touch. The song makes Ai have flashbacks to all the times that Margie talked about her fashion designer dreams and how hard she's working towards them. Later that night, Ai exclaims how she wants to find her own dream to strive for too. When she goes home, she looks at all the bottles she's found on the beach, and each one has a similar message about the miracle granting trees. Will she plant them? And then we cut to fall, and I is shaken when Rosie comes to her door, exclaiming Margie has moved away and I missed her chance to say goodbye. She runs to the front of the town, hoping to see her friend off, but she misses her after all. Turns out I never knew Margie was moving anyway, especially so suddenly. Heartbroken, she goes to the roost to drink away her sadness in coffee and is lovingly scolded by Whitney. She tells her that she shouldn't doubt the friendship they had, and between two true friends, distance and time does nothing to ruin the love between them. After making her way back home, Pete stops by her house and delivers her a letter from Margie. Her friend admits that she didn't want to say goodbye as it would have made her cry. She moved away to follow her dreams and wanted to begin that journey with a smile on her face, no tears. She gives I a photo of herself and tells her to find her own cherry pie. The photo of Margie is so significant because of what it means in the games. Her friend believes in her, so she must believe in herself now too. Winter has come. I now has a new burst of energy. She's like a new character, vibrant and confident. It turns out she did plant those cedar trees after all, just like the bottles asked, and now they're big and beautiful and decorated with lights. Thanks, Rossetti. No miracle though. She begins to feel sad, thinking nothing will happen, until a giant UFO appears in the sky and crashes to the ground. All the animals run to see it in horror and curiosity, and out pops Gulliver. He tells them he is an alien, and most of them believe him without question, and he needs help. He needs to find 5 spaceship parts that he lost in the crash. Everyone decides to assist, and they run off in different directions. Yu has a sudden memory jolt and books it to the cave where they saw the Seismosaurus skeleton. After they're struggling to re-enter the cave, out of nowhere, Margie reappears and uses her strength to get them inside. Yu, once again, tries climbing the skeleton and gets to the top to grab what looks like a metal gear. This is my favorite scene in the entire film. Just watch.
Never mind, I'm too scared.
Rosie, why? With the gear in hand, all the animals return to Gulliver, and it turns out the part you found wasn't a part of his ship after all, but a sentient alien creature who got lost after Gulliver ran into it. Suddenly, several spaceships appear. The little alien regains consciousness and excitedly thanks I for her help. It happily flies around before returning to its ship. Before the aliens take off, they decorate the sky with stars and lights, shaping them to look like I, and everyone cheers. Gulliver goes to leave too, barely making it into the air. He looks down, remarking that he was surprised that real aliens came after all. Turns out he was the one who wrote the bottle messages in an attempt to stage a cool fake alien landing, but he got bamboozled when the real aliens came. I haven't played Wild World in a while, but I certainly don't remember aliens being a major plot point. Back on Earth, I remarks that in this moment, it's the first time she finally felt at home. The credits roll, and afterwards a special scene plays. It's now springtime. I is shining, and she says this year she will make a delicious cherry pie of her very own. This is probably a much more reliable New Year's resolution than mine to go to the gym. The Animal Crossing movie seems simple on the surface, but I really felt connected to it. It starts out as a homage to a video game near and dear to our hearts, and becomes this inspiring story about friendship and finding a passion to spark a light within you. One neat detail is in the names of the human characters, I and you, which totally stand for I and you. I really feel those names were chosen for that reason. The world building here was spot on too, giving each villager their own motivations, even if they have nothing to do with the plot. We occasionally see Hopper trying and failing to catch dinner. There's a behind-the-scenes romance between Whitney and Apollo. Even Alfonso orders 500 pies. And hey man, I won't judge. This was simply a really enjoyable movie, and I think you should experience it for yourself. Please, go give it a watch and let me know what you think of it and this video in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.